Fighting insurgents in the mountains of Afghanistan is not what NATO founders had in mind, but that's what the alliance faces today. NATO has some 60,000 troops under its command in Afghanistan. More are on the way. NATO spokesman James Apatarai says Afghanistan tops the agenda at the alliance's 60th anniversary summit.
One key element, that's Afghanistan. The U.S. president will, I'm sure, wish to discuss with his allies how we adapt our strategy on Afghanistan. Where do we put our resources? What do we need to do better or differently to build on the success that we've had until now?
NATO leaders say progress is being made in Afghanistan, but they acknowledge more work lies ahead. In the Horn of Africa off Somalia, NATO maintains a small fleet that looks out for pirates. And NATO has airlifted African Union peacekeeping troops into Somalia.
It is part of the evolution of the organization to deal with security threats that we would have never dreamed of addressing 20 years ago.
NATO was founded in April 1949 with a dozen member states. It was to counter the rising threat from the Soviet Union. The alliance bound together countries of Western Europe with the United States and Canada. Its mission to protect against an attack from Moscow or its Warsaw Pact allies. Dana Allen, security analyst at London's International Institute for Strategic Studies, says NATO did this well.
Its largest success, obviously, was hanging together, maintaining a credible deterrent posture, and keeping the West together without having to go to war. And that was a huge success.
But the fall of the Soviet Union raised the issue of a new purpose for NATO. The early 1990s challenged NATO's traditional defensive stance. Yugoslavia began to pull apart at the seams, disintegrating into civil war, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. Then came Kosovo, where NATO operations forced Serbian troops to end their bloody campaign against Kosovo's ethnic Albanians.
NATO was slow, the West in general was slow to react to this, but when it did so effectively.
New operations and new opportunities after the end of the Soviet Union. NATO expanded eastward, taking in members from Poland to the Baltic republics and the Balkans, moving right up to the Russian border. More are waiting to join. Russia objects to plans by the United States to place a missile defense shield in Poland and the Czech Republic, recent NATO members. And Moscow is vehemently against further NATO expansion. The focus now on Ukraine and Georgia. Amid these unresolved issues, NATO is nevertheless looking to the future.
What do we need to do? Should we do more to fight cyber attacks? Should we do more to engage in energy security? How far should NATO's reach be for operations? Who should our partners be, and how should we engage with them?
Analyst Dana Allen urges caution.
It's an organization that exists, that brings a lot of countries to the table. That's already a lot. It's not necessary to make it, fit every crisis.
In short, this 60-year-old alliance, now with 26 member states, needs to chart a course to make sure it remains relevant in the 21st century. Sonia Pace, VOA News, Brussels.